Hey, what's up guys, it's Gaming Fiends. I'm going to give you guys a quick guide for the Iron Reaver. It's the second boss in Hellfire Citadel. This is on normal difficulty, and it's actually the first day of the patch. 6.2 came out today. I've really been enjoying it so far. I managed to get this boss down, the first two bosses down on patch day. So I'm going to go over the mechanics right here. As you can see, I'm taking this fight. As tanks, there's really only one mechanic that the tanks need to look out for, and that's going to be an ability called Artillery Strike. And the way that works is whatever tank has aggro, the boss will cast Artillery Strike on, and that tank has to run away and get away from all other party members, because then he will cast Artillery Strike again on that tank at range. It will cause any players near him to take massive damage. And I'll kind of go over that again so you guys can get a visual of that here in a second. You can see it's kind of like that old Hunter's Mark used to be over the other tank, and he's going to have to go ahead and run away. And then he's going to cast Artillery again over at him. You couldn't really see it, but he goes and casts Artillery at him, and he needs to make sure he gets away from everybody else. Right now he's casting Blitz. He's basically just charging across the whole map here. Which is a pretty big area. He goes a long way away, but he charges back. You're going to just want to stay out of his path when he does this. It might be kind of hard to do because he goes really fast, but you can kind of see a straight line in front of him where he's going to go. Just make sure you stay out of his path. Right there you saw him cast Pound, and he's just pounding the ground in front of him. If you're not a tank, don't get hit by that. Just if you're tanking and you have aggro, then there's really nothing you can do about it. You have to take the damage from it, but anyone else, if you're not tanking and you don't have aggro, if you're the tank with aggro, you're the only one that should be getting hit by Pound. As you can see now, the other tanks is the only one getting hit by pounding. Obviously, you gotta stay out of the green stuff on the ground, and as the fight progresses, there will be more and more of that, and that can be an inconvenience. So I recommend getting an add-on or something like that. So it'll tell you, whatever you're standing in the green stuff on the ground, because the damage from that it can be significant if you keep standing in it. Yeah. He's going to cast Full Charge. At that point, he's going to go up into the sky. At this point, the ranged will still be able to attack him, but you're going to want to be focusing these fire bombs that he's going to drop. So you can kind of see he drops this oil on the ground. He runs over and drops all that oil. And then he kind of goes on and he drops some fireballs down. It kind of ignites that oil, so it becomes green stuff. And you kind of see he does it a few times, and he creates quite a bit of green stuff on the ground. And when he does it, it can be an inconvenience, but you still got to kill these bombs. You don't want them exploding. So make sure you get the DPS on the bombs. Kill them before they explode. And then after this, the boss will come back down. We really didn't have a lot of problems with this. Here you can see the radius where he's about to land, the falling slam. And that will do significant damage. You want to make sure you get out of that. You do not want to be under him when he does that slam. And then you pretty much just go back, and this next phase is pretty much the same as how it all began. Tank's still going to want to swap on Artillery Strike. It's the tank that gets Artillery Strike debuffs is going to want to run away from everybody. Barrage, I didn't go over that yet, but it's pretty straightforward. You can kind of see it's just a cone attack that he throws in front of him that just does like fell bolts that shoot in front of him, and it gets wider the farther it goes. So it's narrow path in front of him, and then the farther out it goes, the wider it gets. So you just want to be aware of that and don't get hit by it. If you do get hit by it, it's probably not fatal. To be honest, this is normal again, but just make sure you watch out for that. And if you're healing this fight, just expect people to get hit by it. If your group's not pro, this is just a pickup group. It's everybody who's made some mistakes here. But yeah, as you can see, he casts Barrage a lot. Just be expecting that. Everybody should be able to get out of the way of that. Even if you're tanking him and you have aggro, he's not going to turn and face you. You can just run around him, and he's not going to do anything. So yeah, these are basically the only mechanics to it. The hardest part is probably when he flies up in the air and dealing with those bombs. I think we lusted right at the start, but you might want to luster in those bombs. And this guide, I'm making this guide really general because it is the first day. The if this boss is even available. And so, I mean, down the road, I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of different strategies and other stuff like that that I'm not going to have covered yet because it's just really early on. But good luck in getting this boss down, guys. We got it on our first try. This was just a pickup group, so I mean, it can be done. Good luck. Like, comment, and subscribe.